We are continuing our conversation with Leighann McCoy about how to overcome life's disappointments and take responsibility for the choices we make. Leighann, that is the name of your latest book. What does that mean to take responsibility for our choices in the midst of disappointment?
Well, when we're in the midst of disappointment, it's very easy to become a victim and to begin to blame this circumstance or blame this person or live in a shadow of if only this. And while we're in that place, we get kind of stuck. And it's truly freeing to begin to realize that we have the freedom to choose. We can choose what we think about, we can choose what comes out of our mouth, we can choose how we're going to behave. And if we determine that not that or that controls me, like when you're a victim, you're pitched control to somebody else. But when we take responsibility for ourselves, then we become empowered to take action. And so that's really what it's about.
I see somebody watching this right now and they're saying, no, but Leighann, you don't understand. Like, that person did do that to me, and this wouldn't have happened to me if they hadn't done that. And that's all true, though.
Right. And that is true. And that's actually where you've got to somehow cut yourself free from that person even. And that's obviously what forgiveness does. And believe you me, I know. Because it's truly not, I was in circumstances that were not my own doing. They were created by choices that other people were making. But what I realized in that was I could not change what they were doing. And too many times, especially as mothers, we think we can pick up the burden. I've described it like you go to baggage claim at the airport and you pick up your suitcase and then you pick up your kid's suitcase too, and then you pick up your other kid's suitcase, and instead of handing it to them and letting them carry it out of the airport, you just start lugging all of it while they just run around making the next poor decision or doing whatever makes you crazy.
Spouses' suitcases
yes,
as well.
you take theirs.
Don't even mention grandchildren, right? It just keeps going.
Until at some point you have to realize they are responsible for them, and I'm responsible for how I respond to them, regardless of what kind of decisions they're making. And then you realize you have a lot more power in that relationship than you thought you had by just taking care of what you can take care of, rather than taking care of what they should be taking care of.
That's so healthy, but it's hard to get there when you're meshed, when all your emotions are meshed in it.
It is.
One of the things you talk about that I really was thankful for was gratitude, and I was thinking about, you know, some of the circumstances you've been in, the loss of your sister, for example. What is there to be grateful for in that moment? And you gave this example of sometimes you can just be grateful that you don't ever have to live that day again.
There have been so many days like that for me. I had a sweet friend and a prayer partner, and we marched on a park that went up and down a hill, and we did our hill work together, and I would complain about all of the stuff I was living through, and then finally I would throw up my hands and say, but praise God, I don't have to live that day again. And so at least there was that to be grateful for. But this cultivating an attitude of gratitude really clears our mind of the clutter that seeps in. Because when we get pressed down by what is going on around us, the reason it presses us down is because our minds immediately go into functioning on what the result of what's happening today is going to produce. But if we take away that, trim away that connection, and instead say, you know what, this is what's happening. I don't have a clue really what this will do, because God's got ideas that I don't know about. And therefore, I'm going to praise the God I know who's bigger than this. And I'm going to look for things going on in my life right now that I can be thankful for. And begin to focus your attention on those things that are good, so that your heart then will follow and begin to pull itself out of a very pressed in place. Your heart can start beating again.
So we say forgiveness is a choice sometimes,
Yes.
and sometimes it's a choice that you make daily, and sometimes it's hourly, and sometimes it's by the minute, but it is a choice. And so also trusting God and praising God, you may not feel the trust, you might feel afraid or uncertain, but is that choosing as well to trust Him?
It is, it's a choice. It's a determination that God's good no matter what's going on. God's good even if you don't understand how on earth that could be right now. It's taking your mind in a disciplined way to a place where you just determine. The psalmist David did this a lot in the Psalms. He would start out talking about how horrible it was and how bad things are, and this is why I like him. And then by the end of his tirade, he would be like, but I'm going to stand with you, God. because you are good. You continue to be good. You will always be good. See, he was deciding that with his head. And we can do the same. And once we choose to do that, then all of the clutter that seems to have more power than it really has will begin to kind of dissipate, and we can buck up and march in and say, I've got God on my side. It's going to be okay.
I've so done that, except there was repentance in between those two things where it was kind of like you complain, oh God, I'm so sorry for my bad attitude. And now I choose to trust you,
So
you know.
true. So
Absolutely.
true.
Well, there's so much good stuff in this book, taking responsibility for the choices you make. I think people are going to have to pick it up to hear more.
Okay, that would be
Thanks so much.
great.
That book is available at our e-store. The coordinates are on your screen. And if you are struggling today where you felt stuck because of the bad things that have happened to you, or maybe like me, you've been in a season of your life where you're saying, you know what, I can't even enjoy the good because I don't know what bad thing is around the corner. The expectation of bad things is no way to live. We want to pray for you today and help you on your spiritual journey. That's why we have prayer lines. Give us a call. It could be anytime, day, night, weekend. The number is 1-866-273-4444. We'll be right back.